Now we get ready for the second coat. So in order to do that, what I do first is clean off my tools. When this stuff hardens, it gets on your tools, and if you want to be ready to go before you mix your quick set, because you got to move quick when you use this stuff, you start by just cleaning these off. And we'll go back to my hock that has a little bit of mud on it, and it has hardened, so that means the mud on the patches have hardened too. So we'll clean off the hock. Got a little bag here for remnants. And this way here, the hock's ready to go too when I go back to the mixing board and mix some more mud. So, before we get to that point, let's go back to the patches and scrape away those little high spots where the bubbling areas were. Well, now that it's hardened, we can scrape away these bubbling areas to make it very flat to make the next coat even easier. So we come back to here, and it has bubbled in here. This is where the air was behind it. I take my knife and I just scrape away the bubbly areas. So the bubbles here are now disappearing. It's just the high spots. You can call it your sanding, but I call it scraping. So now they have flattened out and they have disappeared. We'll go around to the other side and do the same thing. That allows us to get the next coat going. So over here, with a little more light on things, you can see our bubbling area here and here. So, and some lines. So this is like sanding, but it's scraping. So I'm just going to scrape away the high spots. There's the bubbling area and the high spots. This one here too will make that bubbling area disappear. And since it's hardened, it won't move around or bubble a second time. So with that clear, now I'll go back and take the mud off this knife and mix up our next batch of quickset and take my big trowel and cover the tape so that we don't see the tape anymore. So between this knife and this trowel, I'll get rid of the mud that I incurred on my 4-inch knife. It's clear, the trowel's clean. Go to this mixing board. I may do 2 coats of quickset and the final coat regular mud. So I'll take at least half this mix, which is pulling this away, and that's about half the mix right there. So I'll bring the regular mud and the quickset together again and get the 2 of them mixed together. So keep moving it around till it feels consistent all the way through. All the mud feels the same. There's not soft spots or hard spots in it. It feels like it's been all mixed together the same way. So back and forth the way I'm doing it. I scrape it right down to the bottom, pushing hard to get the plaster off the bottom. Now it's starting to get consistent. It's starting to look the same. It's starting to move the same. And it gets a little stiff. So it tells you it's ready to put on the hock and go back to our patches again. So the 4-inch knife works like a suction cup. So pull ahead and pull up. Sticks to the knife, just like a suction cup. So it's just pull ahead and stick to the back of the knife. So we'll pick it all up, pushing right down flat to the board. And once your hock is loaded up, you've got your mud ready to go. Get organized on your hock. So with the 4-inch knife, simply lay it down and I can move it around, and I'm yet mixing it some more. Now, it will, if you've got it piled up like this, fall off the hock eventually. It will droop down. Gravity. So we give it a shake, and it's like a suction cup. It's not going anywhere till I choose to take it away from there. So we'll take the 4-inch knife now, we'll set it down, and we got the big trowel again. This is where I do that suction cup trick. So I put it upside down, I take my trowel, and I load it up. Bring it over to the wall, and nice and thick on there. Then I'll flex my trowel at the top. So it's flexed along the top. Borrow mud, come back. Flex my trowel at the bottom. It tapers it off. So back again, lay the trowel down to leave the mud there. So borrow the mud, bring it to the edge of the light. Now you do not see the tape in that coat. The next coat will go up and down to take any waves or ripples that we incurred going this way before we do an actual final. So it'll be a 4-coat step. Organize my mud again. Now we'll go to the other side, to the other patch, and we'll load it up and hide that tape too. Now, this is a big patch. It's uneven. So when it's uneven, we have to go wide. So I'll load up my mud, and I'll go quite a bit wider than the original patch. Load up mud again, down at the bottom here, and go very wide. Skim off the edges. Come to this corner bead over here. Flatten it out. We have mud that I picked up while I was doing this so that I can go even wider over here to flatten it out even more. I am pressing on the outsides and letting the rest of the trowel flow in order to taper off where it meets the drywall. Same deal here, right in the middle. I left a little mark in here. I'm going to go back and do that side. Push the other side. And then right up the middle. Now this little notch, we're going to leave it there because we're going to fix it in the next coat. These two lines, draw lines, we're going to scrape those off before we start our next coat again. So let's let this harden. We're going to take a small break and we'll be checking this mud again before we start up and address the patch again. See you on the next coat.